Bum 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 bum. Welcome to my Q&A, questions and answered. I sent a post out on my Instagram asking people to send me in their questions. I said the first 10 questions I receive, I will put them out and I will answer them. Thank you everyone else for sending your questions in. But yeah, I'll kick it off. First question came in from Tim. Tim asked me, what do you think of Tottenham? It's easy, Tim. Shit. What do you think of shit? Tottenham. Thank you. Yes, watching Tottenham at the moment as an Arsenal fan is absolutely brilliant. Seeing them getting beaten in the Champions League 7-2 by Bayern Munich. Getting knocked out by Colchester in the League Cup, the only trophy they won in the last, 27 years or 28 years? Who knows? They're just shit. And then, yeah, losing to Brighton in the Premier League. I absolutely love watching Tottenham at the moment because you know what? It's so funny to see them fail. When they criticised us from losing in that Champions League and now they've done it themselves. And now, since then, they've absolutely crumbled. Love it. Yeah. So that the answer to that question is shit, Tom. Second question came in from Keelan. He asked me, am I Irish? Yes, I am. I was born in Ireland. My mum and dad are Irish. But I moved over to London when I was 1.5 years old. Moved to Finsbury Park, and that's when I became an Arsenal fan at the age of 5. But to the answer to that question is, yes, I am Irish. 100% Irish. Don't sound it, but yeah, I'm Irish. Third question came in from yfusion_365. He asked me, will Arsenal make top 4? Answer to that, the way things are going, they should. But like I've always said to you before, the Premier League is a hard league. And no game, no matter who you're playing, is easy. But Chelsea, transition. Man United, the shit. Tottenham, already answered that question, shit. So really, if we're battling against anyone to get into the top 4, it would be Chelsea who are in transition. So that's a good chance as well. Leicester, who are doing brilliant at the moment so far this season. So yeah, we should make top 4. But like I said to you before, we should have made top 4 last season. But look what happened at the end of it when we couldn't even beat Brighton and Crystal Palace at home. So yeah, we should make top 4. But hopefully we do. But like I say, you never know in the Premier League. But thank you for your question. Then the fourth question came in. That came in from Hussan_C. He said to me, there is rumours going around that they want to cut short Nketiah Lonedale from Leeds. Is that good? There is rumours going around. Eddie Nketiah has even come out the other day after his England game and he said that he's not happy with playing on the bench. He does what he has to do. He scored 4 goals coming off the bench for Leeds. He scored vital goals, winning goals, equalisers. He's even scored in his debut when he played in the League Cup, the only game he started for Leeds. So you know what, he's doing what he can do. And you know what, if they do cut short, I don't think they'll keep him this season. I think rumours again, Bristol City want him. So if they do cut it short, which they should do, because you know what, he's doing what he's doing at Leeds and he's still not getting the credit for it from starting him in the league. So yeah, they should cut it short. It would be good, but who knows? He might start this weekend and then you know what, Leeds might kind of like change their mind and actually keep on playing him from the start. But if they don't, they should cut it short, but then maybe move him on to Bristol City and give him that development that he needs, because you can see that he's absolutely going to be a great player if he gets the right development in his career. Thank you for your question as well. The next question came in from Bob. He goes, have you ever been to watch Arsenal away in Europe? Answer to that, Bob, is no. Before moving down to like where I'm living now in Dorset, yeah, I used to go to Arsenal games home and away. But you know what, I've never been to an away game in Europe. I would love to go to one. Absolutely would love to go to one. It's such more tricky these days with sort of families and stuff like that. It's harder for me to kind of even go to games. But I am going to a game next month, Southampton at home. But yeah, never been to an away game, but I would absolutely love to go to an away game for Arsenal. But who knows? Maybe in the future, bit of money as well. But yeah, hopefully in the future I can go to an away game. Thank you for your question, Bob. Next question came in from Hamza. He asked, what attracts you about Arsenal Football Club? Answer to that, what doesn't attract me about Arsenal Football Club? Like I said in one of the questions before, I moved over here as like 1.5 years old, and then I was like growing up around like Arsenal. Even my schoolmates in my classes were all Arsenal fans. Some of them are Tottenham fans. I don't know what happened to them in their lives, but you know what? Yeah, most of them are Arsenal fans. But that attracted me. But like I said before, even my dad's Irish, my sister's Irish, and then not Irish, but my dad's Arsenal fan, my sister's an Arsenal fan, brother's an Arsenal fan. We are an Arsenal family, so that attracts me as well. But like I said, growing up as a kid, your classmates are all Arsenal fans, living literally right beside Highbury. That attracts me. And you know what? Remember the first game going there? You just get that wow feeling when you walk into the stadium. You're like, you know what? This is home. This is what I call home. You know what I mean? So walking into the stadium, even walking into this Emirates these days, you just get that feeling. And once you get that feeling, you know you're attracted to that club no matter what. Win, lose or draw, you're always going to be attracted to that club. Like I say, you'll have your high days, you'll have your low days. And you know what? You know, I just absolutely love that club. You know, I could not live without Arsenal Football Club. Love everything about Arsenal Football Club. Thank you for your question. 7th question came in from Scott Hunter. He goes, what do you think of Reiss Nelson and Saka this season? Highly rate them. 100%. I think Saka, since he's come into the squad, you can see what he's done. He's not playing that simple pass. He is literally doing what the likes of people are saying about Pepe, what Pepe should be doing. This is an 18-year-old kid. And like I said to you before, he's not playing the simple pass. He's not just kind of going, like, let's pass it here and let someone else kind of deal with it. He's taking players on. He's losing the ball. But you know what? When he loses the ball, he tracks back. And that's what we just want from any sort of player that comes into Arsenal Football Club. Reiss Nelson, highly rate him too. But I just don't think he's getting the minutes that he should be getting. But that's because Saka's come in. Saka's come in and you know what? He's just stepped up as an 18-year-old again, like I said. And he's doing what Reiss Nelson was expected to do. But you know what? There's still time. There's going to be like minutes for them, both players, come in and out of the squad. And look, as long as they do what they're doing, their futures look bright for them. You know what I mean? So, like I say, them futures look bright for Reiss Nelson and Saka. But like I say, it's hard to kind of get in the squad because there's a lot of like big players like Lacazette, Aubameyang, Pepe, who are going to probably like play in front of these guys. But once they come in, they're doing what they're doing. You know what? You can't fault them. But I say thank you, Scott, for your question. Question number 8 came in from the Lovable Rogue. Can Arsenal really push for 2nd place finish or even put the pressure on Liverpool? I would love to say they could, but being realistic, all I want as an Arsenal fan is to get back into the Champions League. But like I say again, football's football. Liverpool got an away fixture against Man United, which I expect them to win this weekend. Man City got an away fixture against Crystal Palace, who have not been the easiest side for them to go. We've got an away fixture against Sheffield United, which we never won against them in the Premier League away from home. So you know what? Again, things can change in the Premier League. But being realistically, I couldn't see us putting the pressure on Liverpool. But like I say, anything can happen in football. I'd just be happy with 3rd and getting back into the Champions League. But you know what? That's actually a good question because you just never know. We could, but we might not as well. And that's what I'm trying to say. 1 minute you could be... We were 7 points clear a few years back. And I remember we were thinking, oh yeah, we can't bottle it from here. And people saying, I can't bottle it from there. And that was around Christmas time. Like I say, anything can happen in football. But being realistic, Liverpool just look too strong. They look absolutely too strong. Man City, they can go on a mad run, and you know what? It's just like one of them sort of ones where anything can happen. But you know what? Who knows? Who knows in football? I would love to say yes, but being realistic, I'll probably say no. But like I say, Champions League is what I want. Just to get back in there. Sick of the Europa League. Absolute sick of the Europa League. Like I say, there's teams in there I've never heard of. Teams who probably have names longer than the alphabet. So yeah, just want to get back in Champions League and play with the big boys. You know what I mean? Play with them big boys. Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, all them sort of teams. Just want to play against them all the time. You know what I mean? So yeah, thank you for your question as well. Question number 9. Should we give Ozil another chance or is he finished? That came from Bruno. Do I think Ozil is finished? As a player, probably not. But I was thinking about it as well with the Ozil situation. Is it a good situation for us to keep Ozil? Because even though he's not playing, all we're doing is seem to be talking about Ozil. Even when he's not playing, we're just talking about Ozil all the time. He should do this, he should be that. But then you look at our form, and our form's not that bad. He's played, what, 1 game in the league and 1 game in the League Cup? And we've only lost 1 game this season. So are we really missing Ozil? Yes, we're missing that creativity. I will admit that. We are definitely missing the creativity. Because, like I say, Dani Ceballos, he's not that sort of like one where... Great player, Dani Ceballos, but he's not that sort of like, oh, he'll pick a pass. He's got 2 assists this year, Dani Ceballos. Same amount of assists that Ozil had last year. So, are we really missing Ozil? Probably not. But who knows? Anything, like I say, anything can happen in football. Things can change. Ozil can come in and get 3 assists, and next before you know, it kicks on. Maybe he needs that kick up the arse. You know what I mean? He probably needs that. Because I think he was too comfortable under Wenger. No matter what he did, he strolled around. He was still starting the next week. And he was playing 90 minutes. So maybe he needs to sort of like kick up the backside. And you know what? Might make him a better player. Or he just might ship him out in January. Like I say to that question is he finished? Probably not. Things change in football. Players get injured. He steps in. And who knows? But probably not. I don't think he's finished. But I'm just thinking to myself, is it a case of like... Is it still kind of good to have Ozil in the team because even when he's not playing, we're still talking about him? We had a situation with the Sanchez situation where it was all about Sanchez. And he went, look at now, we're a better team without him. So, who knows? I don't know. We don't know. I don't think he's finished, but who knows in football? January will probably tell us if he is or not. Thank you for your question. And the last question came in, would you play Bellerin, Tierney and Holding against Sheffield United? Now, I would, but then who would you take out? I would say you have to take out Klazenak. Good going forward, but the guy can't cross a road, so he definitely can't cross a ball. But then do you take Chambers out? Well, then where did you put Chambers? Then you have to replace the whole back line, because Chambers is doing good at right back. But we do know when Bellerin comes back into full fitness, he has to go there, because Bellerin is that sort of player who's going to bomb up and down. He's that sort of defensive-minded player. So yeah, I would start him, but then you have to change the whole lot, because I can't take Chambers out. So then you have to take David Luiz out. But he scored the winner in the last game against Bournemouth. We kept a clean sheet against the last game against Bournemouth. But Tierney, I'll definitely put in. Bellerin, I still think he's not ready just yet. Chambers, I'll keep Chambers in the right. And then Holding, I think you still got to kind of like, it was a bad injury. So I think him sort of just gel him in and he'll come back into the sort of team. And then fingers crossed that it will be the case where we'll get him back into the team. And then you know what, that sort of backline of Tierney, Bellerin, Holding and Chambers, not bad, is it? But like I say, we have to just gel them back in slowly, because you know we don't want to rush these players in. They pick up another injury and then you kind of go, oh, we bring them back too quick. So it's one of them sort of dilemma ones where just making sure we bring these players in at the right time through their injury recoveries and stuff like that. So fingers crossed we can do that. But yeah, thank you for your question. There you go. There is my 10 questions. Like I say, thank you everyone for sending in your questions. And thank you all the people that sent in your questions, even if I didn't get to reply to them. If you've all liked this, just put a tick on this or like it and stuff like that. Let me know if you want me to do one again. But yeah, thank you everyone for your questions. But come on, Arsenal. Make sure we get back into that. Top 4 is the must for us this season. Champions League. Let's get back in there. But thank you everyone again for your questions.